What's going on, everybody? FYB presents Wise Word Wednesdays, a quick live stream to help you get closer to accomplishing your dreams. Listen, we got another dope episode for you today. I'm your host, Joe Spider, and I do represent the Fresh. But before we get to our amazing guests that we have, I'm going to ask you right now if you could do me a favor and hit that like button and hit that subscription button if you're not already subscribed to our content. And if you feel compelled to, please leave a comment under this particular review. And the reason we ask this is because we all know how algorithms work. And if you don't, I'll explain. When you hit a like or you leave a comment or you share or subscribe, essentially what you're letting the algorithm know is that we actually have important context that or content that you actually like. And so that will cause other people that either follow you or that may like similar things that you like to then get our content as well too. So every single like, every single comment, every mention, it all absolutely matters. So I want to thank you for doing that for me. Thank you for following us this far. I think this is like episode 8. So like we're finishing our second month now of the Wise Word Wednesday show. So I appreciate you for tuning in. Now, we have an amazing guest that I'm going to have talk to you all and talk to me really about their experience. Now, you know, the purpose of this show is really to provide you with inside information, like behind the scenes scoop on a variety of people and what they do professionally, because we know like social media makes it seem like everything is okay. Like all I got to do is take a picture and upload it and then I'm going to get millions of followers, right? But we know that it takes a lot more than that. And there are things that you have to do behind the scenes, whether it be in photography, whether it be in music, whether it be in education. There are a lot of things that you have to do behind the scenes that people might not know about and some challenges that you might face. So this is an opportunity in these Wise Word Wednesdays to provide you with that insight so you can have a better opportunity or a better chance of success. So without further ado, I am going to bring up my guest. This person is amazing. I've worked with them and seen them like just continue to elevate every single time. I mean, they are a philanthropist. They're like a director, an entertainer, an actress, like just everything. I feel like I'm cutting her short just by saying some of the things that she do because she does a lot. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Queen Melissa Muganzo from Muganzo Entertainment.
What's going on, everybody? Josiah, thank you so much for having me. This is such a blessing.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you for being on. We were talking before we went live, and I had to tell you, like, yeah, I've been wanting to get you on for a minute, you know, for sure, because I've just obviously been witnessing the great work that you've been doing over the years, and it's just getting better and better every single time. And so I don't want to spoil too much because I know you got your whole team that you be rocking with, that you be having, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff. So maybe if you want to get into it, you can, but yeah, it's just a blessing to have you on here. Just know that I'm thankful for sure.
Thank you. It's crazy how our lives have evolved and we're still connected, right?
Right. Straight up. It's a blessing. I'm thankful, to be able to really genuinely say that I have people like you that I know personally. You know what I'm saying? Because when I see you on the stage, I'll be like, I know her. Like I know her. You feel me? So it's a win. It's a win. So listen, let's not waste any time because I want to get right into it. So if you could tell the people a little bit about Muganzo Entertainment, tell a little people about who you are and what it is that you do, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So, y'all, I am so many different things, but at the core of who I am, I'm an entertainer. That means organizer, showrunner, actress, instructor, dancer, choreographer, a philanthropist. I'm a giver of my time, of my money, of my energy to causes that really help to liberate the world. And I'm an entrepreneur. I'm also a business owner. And so all of those things embody who I am and what I'm about. And at the core of all those things, I try to keep it as Black as possible every time.
Wow.
Every time.
I love that. Do you see why I said I didn't do her service or justice by listing the things that I said? Because she just mentioned even more things that I mentioned. So, I mean, you're honestly like one of those things that can do it all. One of those people that can do any and everything that's asked of you. And so I think that's definitely a dope thing to have, to be able to be so skilled at a variety of different things is just amazing. And other people can see that. And I just wanted you to know, I see the hard work that you do on a consistent basis. because I know
you.
it's not easy to do all those different things. Like when you're good at a lot, right? That means you have to practice this and then practice that and practice that to keep getting better and better. While many people just have to practice that one skill because that one thing is they know that they do well. But because you're multi-talented, you have a variety of things that you have to practice and hone up to, or to tone into to be able to be successful in it. So I see that and I observe that for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a lot of hard work, but it's chosen work. And I want to be very intentional about saying that. And I'm in a
Absolutely.
space in my life where I'm starting to realize I'm choosing a lot of things. And it's taking a lot of accountability on where I'm at and where I'm trying to go and what I'm also leaving behind. So I'm
No
excited to
doubt.
get into all of it.
No doubt. I love that. So if you don't mind, what how did you get started on this particular journey in regards to entertainment? Like where did this come from?
Okay, so if you're like me, you had a skill very young and your parents were like, hey, you're hella good at that. Let me see how I can incorporate this in our daily life. And so, me being raised by a Black mother, a West Indian mother, as soon as she heard that I can hold a tune, she put me on a church program. That was happening immediately. That
Yep.
was going to happen. And once I got the feeling of what it's like to hold a mic and take over a stage and see people clap for me doing something, there was something about that energy that I was like, I can't actually get enough of this. I want to do this again and I want to be better at this. And so that was like the beginning of entertainment. And for a lot of Black artists got their start in church. A lot of religious spaces,
Right.
a lot of religious or community events, from poets to speakers to fashion designers to musicians. Those are the early grounds, the early performance grounds of creativity is on these organized and religious spaces. So that's really the
Right.
foundation of how this all got started. And then it just amplified when I went to high school.
Wow, it's crazy because I can relate to that for sure. As a public speaker, right? The first time I can remember speaking in public was in the church, right? That was like the first place where everybody was like, "No, you gonna go up and say what you learned in Sunday school," like you know what I'm saying. So it's crazy that when you look at it from like 2020 vision now, you can say, wow, like they saw something in me and they were like making me practice it at a young age. And you can see like
Yep.
now it's so natural for you to do it because it's like I've been doing it since I was X years old. So that's dope that your
Right.
parents saw that.
Right. And it's one of those things too where it was just the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And for a number of people, sometimes they get the foundation and they think that's all they can do. They kind of stay in
Ooh,
this box, but that's
right.
not true. It was just the foundation to introduce me to this idea
Mm-hmm.
of being able to present and use my gift for the better, for change, for efforts. And that foundation has sustained me in my career for sure.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to the foundation for sure. So with you being so multi-talented and doing chosen work, as you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
could you tell me what is a day in the life of Melissa like? Depending on the day, right?
I'm not gonna lie. So I'm laughing because my schedule is always all over the place. So on the busiest day, I'm waking up, I'm heading to the gym, I'm getting right back here for countless meetings. I'm getting dressed to go MC an event. I'm having a meeting at night, and then I'm also doing beta testing for a vegan food line that I'm putting out here in the next year or so. So that's
Mm,
like on the busiest day. On a very calm day, I'm still hitting the gym because that's important to me. It's where I get really centered. But then
mhm.
I might do some meditation. I might connect with my best friend because me and my best friend talk every day. I don't care if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour. We talk every single day.
That's
And
good.
I'm starting to like journal a little bit too. So on the most calm days, that's probably it. But on the busy days, they're busy. You could barely catch me. I'm in traffic for sure.
Wow. And could you talk about the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, right? Like having that flexibility to go from being really, really busy where it's like, I don't have time to do anything, barely got time to eat, to like having those days where it's like, I really am kind of freelancing, but I'm still being focused on what I have to better myself. Like you said, whether that's meditating, whether that's going to the gym, talking to your friend, journaling. Could you talk about how you're able to kind of balance that lifestyle as an entertainer?
Yes. So my calendar, my schedule is my everything. And I understand the beauty and the grit that comes with execution, because I'm, as a Capricorn, shout out to all the Capricorns out there, I'm an executionist. Like, I can execute a task like nobody's business. But a part of that is also learning that I need to execute my own self-care and self-well-being. And that is something that I had to
Mm,
grow and learn. And with me understanding that I have control over my calendar, I now incorporate solitude, isolation, restoration with execution in my calendar too, because I can go for weeks grinding because things have to get done. And I
mhm.
understand that as an entrepreneur, like sometimes there's deadlines and you just gotta do it. But then
Right.
other times it's like, yeah, but you are the work, right? You are the gift, you are the creative. And so if you're not 100% well or 100% clear, you can make decisions out of very bad emotional space or out of stress or out of just not having enough self-care time. And
Mm,
sometimes those decisions don't turn out the best creatively or business wise because of the root of the decision was made in stress or made in frustration or made in a time crunch. And I never want to be like that because I've done that before and it never works out. So, yeah.
that's, I mean, the fact that, like, when you said, like, you are the business, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are the most important person, which, we teach that at FYB, Fire Your Boss. We say, like, you're the most important person to you, right? There's nobody more important than you but you, right? So you have to take care of yourself first. Then you can pour out into others and pour out into these other things. And so I love the fact that you have that consistency in regards to making sure that you focus on you. And there are times where, like you said, you might be stretched thin, but you still got to remember, like, I can't pour from an empty cup, right? If I'm too drained and I can't have any energy, then how, and I still got to get up tomorrow and do something as well, too. It's not like today's over and then I'm just done with everything. Like, you still have to have energy for tomorrow. So I'm practicing that, as just a professional, is learning, like, you got to get your hours of sleep. Like, no matter what, you have to make sure that you're resting, because if you get up, you're groggy and you're tired, you're angry, like you said, that anxiety that you might have had, or that frustration, or that low energy where you make that decision, that could be the critical decision that stops you from doing one thing or another.
From everything. Yes.
Right. Right. So I definitely can respect that for sure. What got you, or why is entertainment so important to you as a professional? Like, so important to the point where, like you said, this is the career path that I want to take. Like, I want to pursue this 100%. What made entertainment so important to you in that sense?
That's a great question. So, from the beginning, I already utilized my gifts, and I really want to empower anybody that would say, when I was younger, I had this gift, but then life happened. I feel like the universe downloads and programs us to be able to execute this gift of life with very certain systems and certain tasks and in certain tools. And our gift
Ooh,
is our tool. And
right.
the fact that I made a decision to try a different industry, I think back to where I was when I was in that industry. I did it out of scarcity. I did it out of there were no other options. I did it out of I'm the first in my family and I got to make certain things crack. And I never really left the idea of entertainment, but I just like pushed it aside because society told me that those things aren't successful. But if we think about it, entertainment is what pushes society. Music,
Hmm.
media,
Hmm.
gossip, television, radio, podcasts like this, all of that is I mean, if you think about when we want to go look for, well, how did we look? How did we dress in the 40s? Where do we go?
Right.
We Google and we look at some type of media, right? Or if we look at what's going on in the world, we go to YouTube. You can YouTube a country right now and get a live stream of what it's like in that country right now. Media is life, especially in COVID. What brought us all together? Media. We had nothing else to do but rely on media to sustain our emotional well-being and the way that we socialize. And so once we
Yeah.
understand that media is life and media has the power to push social justice, if we think about all of the political leaders or leaders that we feel have moved justice forward, what medium did they use? Media,
Media.
entertainment. And a lot of that entertainment was in religious spaces, but all even, for some biblical texts, that's media. It's shared
Right.
stories in the form of a book. So media is life and it's been around us our entire existence as a people.
Absolutely. And I love what you said in regards to, like, how society kind of molds us into thinking that we have to take this particular path in order to reach success. And it's like, this is a safe path, but it also has a cap. right? If you follow this particular trend, like you have to do this, then yeah, it's a safe path, and it's a, you know, to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you get to one particular area. But it also has a, like what they call a glass ceiling, right? Where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can't do certain things, but you chose to do things that you actually really enjoy and that you're passionate about. And what I've noticed is that people who do things when they're passionate about it, as opposed to doing things because they have to, because it's the job, they're not like the ones that are passionate are more enthused, right? Like this, they put more energy in it. They're willing to go above and beyond what's asked to make sure that the job gets done, and to make sure that it gets done well.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas to people who are doing it just because this is their job, or just because they want to get a paycheck, they're doing like the bare minimum, right? So you have like one doing the bare minimum and the other one's doing over the maximum, right? To make sure that they get the quality of work. And so I just love the fact that you talked about it. It's like, yeah, society puts us in these boxes and tells us this is the right way to go. And for people that are interested in that path, perfect, right? Like you can do that. That's cool. But that's not the only way. There are
No.
other alternatives to get to the level of success, right? And it doesn't have to be this cookie cutter way. And sometimes people get boxed into that, and they end up getting trapped in there for years and then have a lot of regret.
Absolutely. I also feel like it's because in society, and I take ownership when I say society because I'm clearly a part of
Right,
society,
right. We are
but
society. Right,
we are society and we choose what we subscribe to, right? We have ownership over that. Now, whether we
right.
continue to believe in that subscription is really on us, which is why
Hmm.
for myself, I remember when I decided to no longer be religious and really just connect spiritually to the creator
Right,
and
right.
realize that, well, oh, I had actively chosen every day to sustain this idea, which made me
Hmm.
think about, when people are saying, go to college. College is not a bad thing, but the
Right.
system of selecting a major that's going to determine your whole life, we
Mm,
created that system. So
mm.
now anything that you thought you were going to do, you're going to doubt that because you're only going to select based on what's provided major wise. So
Right.
now it's going to make you feel like you only have so many options. That's not
Hmm.
true, but it's a system put in place to filter through. And in life, we have to look at all the ways that we subscribe to programming and systems that make us feel that our options are limited because in reality we're limitless, but
Right.
sometimes we don't realize that because we're so locked into these programmatic ways we subscribe to things.
That's a fact. And it's like you said, the system that we're in, someone created it. So it did not exist at first until someone
Right.
else put it there. So just
Right.
like they created that system, we subscribe to it. We have the ability still in today to create our own system in which everyone is going to be able to subscribe to. So for example, social media, right?
Right.
50 years ago, it did not exist, but
Right.
someone had the idea that this is going to be possible. And so they created it, and now we use it every single day.
We're dependent on
Depend,
it.
dependent on it. Okay.
Right.
Right. Like
Right.
literally dependent on it. Like these systems. It's funny, random story, right? This is just it kind of relates, but random
Okay.
story. So today I was at work and I went to visit this place for work, and they were like, "Well, we need your ID, like your California driver's license." I was like, "No." It was like, "Well, you have to provide your driver's license." I said, "Here's my work badge that has my name and my photo," and they was like, "No, we need your driver's license." I said, "Nah, I don't feel comfortable with that. Like, I don't like you just gonna scan my ID into this system that I'm not familiar with, that I don't know where it's going,
Hmm.
like, and I'm just supposed to say, yeah, like, nah, I'm not cool with that." Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
this is a system in which that's how they operate, and they're like, "No, this is what you must do." But in my head, I'm like, this is new to me. Like, I don't have to give you my personal information. I can give
Right.
you my work information because that's what I'm here for, to provide a service to you, but I'm not going to give you my own personal, driver's license so you could copy it into this system that I'm not familiar with. So again, just
Right.
the idea that this is what people do now, but 10 years ago, that not even 10 years, last year, that system did not exist, right?
Right.
But now it's like non-optional, right? So it's just, again, we subscribe to these various systems and have to and have to realize that we don't have to do it. This is an option, right? But we have the choice to say, I'm going to go a different route, and that's okay in certain instances.
Absolutely. And feel free to jump route. feel free to explore. Sometimes
Absolutely.
routes don't work the first time because you're not ready to receive what the route has to offer. And you
Hmm.
can hop back on that route. You can explore hella routes. Don't think there's just
Exactly.
one route.
Exactly.
Right.
I agree 100%. So when we talk about, right, like hopping on a route, that actually is a perfect transition to my next question, because sometimes you have to change routes, right? You realize like, up, I tried this out and it's not really what I wanted, so I gotta switch gears here. So if you could, if you don't mind, what's one of the worst mistakes that you've ever made in regards to either professionally or personally, just in life?
I have made tons of mistakes.
Mm,
Tons of mistakes. I will I will talk about something that I learned because I have
mhm,
a really interesting way of saying like, that was a mistake, but I learned something. But I'll tell you
it's a
something that I
lesson.
learned.
Hmm.
Something that I learned. So, for those that don't know, this past year I closed out a beautiful documentary tour talking about medical racism and sexism, and really how this entire medical system is built on the back of Native American enslaved Africans. And in order to get this tour, which is a totally independent tour, I had to apply for tons of grants and do a lot of kissing babies and shaking hands and networking.
Mm,
And that second part of that is I've done that in my career, just being an educator and a performer before. So that was pretty general for me. I was used to that. But the applying for grants and being rejected, but knowing that I still have a team to pay was a
mm.
level of stress that I had never experienced in my life. And I remember when I had a direct supervisor, how I would absolutely critique my supervisor to the death. I mean, like, I
Ooh.
had everything to say to my supervisor, not even in a like negative way, but I always thought that if my supervisor just thought about the insight I provided, things would work out differently.
Everything will be better for sure.
Everything will be better. Like, you missing out on this. I could tell you this. I could tell you this. But then when I became the supervisor and I
Ooh,
realized
reality.
that I'm the reason that people are going to be going to therapy, it's me.
Mm,
And
mm,
I'm the reason, that people get to pay their bills, or I'm the reason that people now have an extra line on their resume. I realized, oh my gosh, there are so many times that I should have had way more grace with my supervisor. I should have, because they were making a way out of no way budget wise. They were also not just dealing with me as a very strong personality, but with the team and learning how
right.
to mesh a team and learning how to see the execution of the actual task and not getting caught up in the minutia of the small things that next meeting won't even matter. So it was one of those full circle moments that I feel like the universe intentionally had me feel
Mm,
so that I could be a better boss, a better supervisor, a better leader, but also really understand the employee experience like holistically. Because I definitely had one on ones with my staff where they would tell me that, how I communicated, this is how it came across. And I was like, oh, that was not even what type of time I was on.
mm,
But thank you for that feedback. And I also learned how to speak to a team of people with totally different perspectives that aren't really attached to a vision that I care about, but are attached to the trust they have for me as a leader, right? Because you don't have to be passionate about the actual task. You just
right.
have to be about maybe trusting the person that's going to lead you. And that's all that you need. So there was all of that. And I thought back to how many supervisors I had literally had nothing but negative things to say when I went to happy hour with my girls. Like, let me tell you about this. Let me. And then I said, oh, wait, now I know they're at happy hour talking mad, you know what, about me. So it was really humbling. So it was really, really humbling.
Wow. Yeah, it's lonely at the top. You start to understand that to a whole different context. But it is different, right? When you're the responsibility, you're the person that's responsible for all those things. You see it from a different perspective, and it causes you to, like you said, have grace for other people, and also it allows you to develop in a different way, a different kind of leader. Like a lot of people, even myself, I'd be like, man, if I was in that position, I would do this, that, and the other. And it's like you get a
Run
team
it
of
down.
people, and you like, whoa, so you're managing a variety of different people. That's different personalities. That's different communication styles. That's different interpretations, different upbringings, different lifestyles, right? So you have to be responsible for all of these people coming together to achieve one common goal. And it's a lot more challenging than it sounds. And what I just described sound very challenging. So it's, kudos to you for coming to that realization. And then again, extending grace now to the people that you had to work under in previous years, because it's not always what it looked like. Sometimes, like you said, they were making a way out of no way with no budget. They were still finding a way to get the things we needed going on, or get the things that such and such needed to going on, to make it work as a professional. So I definitely agree with that 100%. I love that.
Yes. Ooh, it's humbling. It's
Yeah.
humbling.
I just want to go back to being a regular person. I don't want to
Right.
be a
I'm like, I don't want to be in charge. Y'all can have this. Y'all can have this.
for sure. So with you being in entertainment, that basically means you're being in front of everybody at all times, right? You are putting yourself out there to be noticed at any point in time, which also means being critiqued, right, by any and everybody, right? So how challenging is it for you to share your journey in front of the world? Is it challenging for you, like mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally? Is it challenging on your family? Like, your mom's looking like, hold up, like, I saw your Instagram picture or video or whatever. Like, what's going on? So how challenging is that for you?
It's so challenging when you are the face of your business or you are the face of whatever you're doing, because it's a fine line between business and privacy. And
Right.
sometimes people feel like they have ownership over how much you should share, or feel like, I don't feel like you told me enough about the situation. And because
Mm.
I feel like I know you based on social media, I feel like I'm missing something. So, hello, provide us some
Mhm.
more. I want to know the play by play. I want to know why that didn't add to that. I want to know A plus B did not equal C. So I want to scroll back. I mean, it has been such a journey. And so finding that balance between, like, this part of my life is absolutely business. Take this, critique this. I can still sleep okay at night knowing that I revealed this, I shared this. And then knowing, like, this is actually not business. This is actually just personal. Melissa, it's okay to not disclose this. It's okay to not share this. This is yours to keep and yours alone. It is
Right.
an interesting journey. And it's also given me a lot more respect and love for my fellow creatives and people that are brave enough, someone like yourself, to put a platform together and to continue to do that platform. Because just like this platform, people can hop on here and say, oh, I don't enjoy this, or why is this here? And
Mhm.
a lot for those people that are not emotionally inclined to understand how brave and how resilient you have to be to continually put out content that you believe is going to change the world, regardless of feedback. They don't understand that sometimes those type of comments or those type pieces of rejection can really stay in your psyche and make you not execute the exact reason why you're placed on this earth. So it is just an act of love and resiliency and bravery. And again, finding that line between business and personal is my ongoing journey. And I ask the universe every day, like, help me with this, help
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. And it's a lot, and I think not a lot of people fully comprehend the amount of work that goes into providing content, like you said, that you feel will change the world, right? A lot of times people feel like, I just take a video and put it
Yep.
up and it's going to be fine, but it doesn't work that way. Like, you have to think about concepts and ideas, and
Right.
pitch them with your team and see, like, okay, well, what do we feel like is actually the best way to deliver this message to the audience? Do we feel like what I put out last time, was that enough, or do we need more? And like you said, those comments, of course we try to say, stay confident, right? Have your words of affirmation, right? Talk to
Right.
yourself, right? But it doesn't mean that those things that people say that are negative, it doesn't mean that they don't resonate with us, right? Because
Right.
this is challenging, putting yourself out there for anybody to see.
Anybody.
Like, no matter whether you know them or not, they know you, even though you don't know them. It's challenging, and it can be a bit frightening at first, right? Because you're like, I don't know who's going to see this or what they're going to think about me. They may 100% disagree with what I put out, but at the end of the day, I feel like this is my calling, and so I'm going to do it.
I'm going to
But
do it.
that means that I have to be ready, right, at all times about who's gonna think about what. And so, yeah, I just me understanding that lifestyle, like I just commend you on staying consistent with it, because that's one of the most challenging things is just consistency,
It
doing
is
it
very
over and
hard.
over.
And you know what? The biggest thing that I always have to remember is that everybody has a first day. And it's
Absolutely.
whenever I start to get into my psyche of like, I could have, I should have, what if I want to wait? I have to remember the version of the people that I am, that I admire, the version of the people that I feel is like, the bar. I did not see them on day one. I did
Hmm.
not see them on day 10. I didn't see them when they had a big ass loss. I didn't see them. I just saw the wins and they set the bar and inspired me. But with that inspiration, I didn't see ground zero. I didn't see it. And so I have to remember that wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just like people don't get to see my ground zero some days or your ground zero some days, I also did not see their ground zero. So let me humanize myself and remember that everything is a journey, and let me love on the bravery that I have to even express myself creatively, because that's not easy. That's not easy.
Absolutely. I love that you talked about I didn't see the loss, right? The
I,
big loss that every single person that's ever tried to accomplish their goals had a huge loss, not just a little loss, a huge loss. One that if the person wasn't strong and wasn't as strong as they were, would have caused them to give up, right? Every single person. And so it's important for people to realize that you are going to lose, but it's treated as a lesson, so you feel like it's to your gain, right? So it's tough, but people don't see that. And it's crazy because you still have to present yourself in a particular manner, even though you're going through that lesson, right?
right. Because it's still business as usual. It's
They
still,
don't think
especially,
about it.
it's still things, because when you are the business, that has to sustain. And that's, I can say, like separating your personal and your business life is so important as someone that's, out in media. It's very, very important.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Yeah, that hit home because I done took some L's, I done took some L's, but it's okay
Tell me about
because
it.
you know what I mean? That's just a part of the journey. And again, realizing that everyone started from somewhere. Like there's so many times, like I was supposed to start this YouTube channel with the Wise Word Wednesdays. I was supposed to start this years
Mm.
ago, but
Oh,
I just didn't. I was just always waiting on the perfect time. Like I wanted to do this. It has to be that. I have to have this. Like, and it's like I was like, I have to have a studio and it's got to be set up. And it's like, when I get a spot, I'm gonna get a nice studio room and it's gonna be perfect. And I'm gonna have it all decked out and everything. And it's like, just start. You know what I'm saying? Just start it. Like you have to start from somewhere. And eventually over time, like you started off as Muganzo Entertainment. It was you, right? And then you said, you know what? Let me team up with such and such and let me team up with such and such. And before you know it, over time, you had a team of people that all were like, we for Muganzo Entertainment. But if you didn't start it, if you were like, I'm waiting till I got 15 people on my roster before I start, you would have never gotten it.
and I want to even take it back further than that, right? I want to say, like, I started with emceeing stuff myself before any formation of anything. When someone
Mm,
was like, you know what, you would be a great MC. Could you MC that? Yes, because that's training. That's ground level training. Melissa, I want you to choreograph this entire show. Could you put a show together for us? Yes, I could do that. And learning, Melissa, we really need help with the script for this academic program. Can you put together the program script word for word and give people their lines? Yes. Melissa, can you show run the Vagina Monologues production? Can you just show run and do the casting for it? And yes, because all of that is foundation that gave me the confidence to even form the filing for this, right?
mm.
The foundation, and getting feedback like, oh, Melissa, you spoke too fast here. Or, oh, Melissa, next time watch the clock here. Or, oh, Melissa, this is where you messed up in casting wise, but let me all of that. And so that critique is so important. Just trying it to see if you even like it before you file, because that's a whole
Man,
nother that's a TED talk. But yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So obviously, there are pros and there are cons to any type of career path, and
Mhm.
and so again, a part of this is to help people understand some of those pros and some of those cons. So, in your opinion, what are some of the best and worst things about your journey?
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the worst.
Okay.
Rejection hurts like I can't even
Ooh.
rejection, because when you are your business, when you get a rejection email, it feels like someone's rejecting you. Or if
Hmm.
you have hella pressure put on those funds or that opportunity because you think that's the only way you're going to elevate or sustain, and someone says, actually, no, that shit was whack. No, thank you. That, oh, that hurts like you wouldn't believe. And many people don't know this, but I'll share this with y'all. I apply to opportunities every single day. And I don't
Mm.
think people know how hard I submit and I audition and I apply for grants and I apply for opportunity every day. Not once a quarter, not once a semester, not once a year, every day, because you
Mm.
got to chase the opportunity, because it's not going to just come to you, right? You have to create these pathways that allow you to at least open yourself up so people even know you're someone that's interested in this, because not everybody's going to know just by looking at you that you're interested in certain things until you put yourself out there, much like you're incredibly doing right now. Now people
Mm.
know, oh, Josiah is going to have a TV show, period. This is
Facts.
going to happen. It's
Talk that talk.
period, right? But maybe people didn't know you wanted a TV show until you put this platform out. But now it's like, oh, Josiah can do that. And I can't wait to be right in the audience, like, that's my friend.
Not in the
So
audience. You on stage. So you on
I'm on
stage.
stage. That's me and my friend. So it's stuff like that. But there's a lot of rejection. There's a lot of no's. There's a lot of no thank yous, or even sometimes I've gotten opportunities where it's a yes, and then the organizational funding fell through, and then it's a
Mm.
no. And that hurts too. Right. So I think that is one of the hardest parts of being in entertainment, is knowing that the industry is going to go up and down. People are going to say, I don't think that's creative enough, even though you put your heart and soul into it. You're like, this is my whole life. And they're like,
Mm.
nah, based on the competition, that was whack. But some of the best parts is when somebody says, that shit was hella funny. Or I can hella relate to that. Or I saw myself in that. Or I
Mm.
didn't even think that that was a thing, because me and my friends do that all the time. But because you did it, I want to do that. I didn't even know that was a job. Or
Wow.
I've always wanted to do that. Or being able to hire people or give people a platform to produce their own opportunity. That is like, chef's kiss. It makes
Mm.
all the rejection emails worth it. All of
Wow.
it worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. And I just hope that, I know that you will continue to grow. But like you said, it can be a reality check when you get that no and you're like, but I did everything that I was supposed to do. Like
I did
I worked hard.
everything. Everything, like all capital letters, everything.
All capital letters, no cap. Look, I did it
No
all.
cap.
You know what I'm
All.
saying? But I think and for me, I'll honestly just say that like this is actually just confirmation for me personally, just based on
Mm,
what you were saying, that like, you just gotta keep going. Regardless of how many no's you get, regardless of how many times you may stumble, it's not about how many no's, it's about that one yes. It's about that one time where that one person gives you that one shot. But if you didn't work so hard to get all those no's, when you got that shot, you might not go as hard as you can. You might
right.
not, because you're not used. You think it's just gonna come around again, and it's like, nah, this was your last chance right here. So you gonna be giving it your all, because you like, I can't take no more no's. Look, I'm gonna keep going.
Right. I gotta keep going. I gotta
Gotta
keep
keep going.
going.
I love that. I love that for sure. So when you've been doing this for a while now, right? Doing entertainment like since you were young. What do
Mhm.
you think is some of the coolest things or the coolest parts about being in the entertainment industry?
That you can wake up and literally think of something and actually make it come true, and see how other people can eat off of the one thing you thought about one day, one random day. To
Wow.
see other people eat off of the opportunity that you cultivated in your mind and watch it sustain and watch people realize their own dreams, watch people figure out that there's another job that they didn't even realize existed, watch
Mm,
people be able to heal themselves. That just shows you how powerful and why it's so important to listen to yourself and to trust your own gut. If something is not working, trust yourself that you are smart enough to know that it's your gut talking to you. But if
right.
something seems like it's the best thing for you, trust your gut and know that it literally is the best thing for you. So that has been, those experiences are the greatest. They're the greatest, really.
Absolutely. That's dope. That's dope that like you have that that idea that becomes a reality, right? And it's like this is my baby that I've birthed into the world, and now like people are actually utilizing this. And so yeah, man, that's great. I love that. I love that. Um Now, obviously, we talked about some of the difficult things, right? Some of the challenges that you're going to face or that you have faced over time, being in this industry. And so, when you face those challenges, or when you get the no, right? When you are told, like, "I'm sorry, your idea just isn't entertaining enough, or it's not convincing enough, or it's not smart enough, or whatever." What keeps you motivated during those difficult times when you take that L that's meant to be a lesson, but some people take it as a loss and turn around? What keeps you motivated?
Oh, I'm going to cry in the car. I want to be very clear. I'm going to cry in the car. I don't want to be like, I keep it. No, I'm going to cry in the car. I'm going to call my best friend and I'm going to ugly cry. Like, this is some bull. Like, I'm going to get that out because I'm human. Because I'm human.
I'm laughing because I know the feeling. I know
You
it.
you'll be like, this is some, and my friends will be like, girl, we're gonna go to happy hour, we're gonna take these tequila shots and it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
We're gonna talk about my
Or
old supervisor. Look,
right, we're gonna talk about we're gonna get it back to the root. It was that supervisor,
that's what did it.
I just venting to my homegirls about it, or going to therapy. I'm a really big advocate of being in therapy session and be like, let me tell you, I know you had something scheduled, but let me tell you what happened this morning. I gotta
Right.
know, and your girl is not on 10,
Man.
so that's actually, one of the biggest things that help like reset me, because I'm in a place in my life where I realize I need to feel my emotions fully. I was raised to be like logistics first, emotions second, but that's not sustainable. You're a human being, and things happen to you that genuinely hurt your feelings, that disrupt you, that could take you off a course, that could be a distraction, and you have to feel those feelings so you can heal, so you can make your next decision from a place of a healed space and not out of stress or chaos or anger, because you're never going to make the best decisions for yourself out of those spaces. So it's
Right.
important for me to just attack it. Like if I'm sad today, man, I'm down. I'm down. I'm gonna feel my feelings today, but I'll be back tomorrow. So
Mhm. Yeah.
yeah. So it's
And it's
honest.
okay. It's okay to, like you said, to feel that pain, right? To feel that hurt because you did put everything that you possibly could, in that idea or in that pitch or in that concept. And so, for it to get rejected, like it can hurt. And so I love the fact that you're open to crying in the car, talking to your friends, like talking to your therapist about it, because some people just hold on to it, right? And hurt people. So it's like, you're walking around with that tightened with, super tense because of that anger, that frustration, that sadness, that hurt, which are human emotions, right? These are human feelings. These are reminders that you can feel that, right? So you're walking around with that. So letting it out, talking to people, and realizing like, okay, now that I got it out of my system, that I cried I've vented, and I've grown, I've taken a deep breath. Now it's time to get back up and to push forward because I have a goal. Right? I have a dream. Like I had a vision. And for people that are doing purpose work, right? This work where you feel this is your purpose, this is your calling. That's where it's very different from people who are just doing the job because they want a paycheck, right? When you feel that it's your purpose, this is what you're made to do, you don't even sleep well at night if you're not executing the things that you genuinely feel you're supposed to do. Did you ever had that feeling before?
Yeah, and I'm so happy you're mentioning this, because I also feel like people think that it's one or the other. And shame
Mm-mm,
on us as a
mm-mm.
society, as a people, making people feel like they got to choose financial stability over
Right. over your
Creative
dreams.
passion. Yeah. It's terrible actually. And I think a lot of people shut down the creative side of who they are because people have historically said you need to choose. And
Hmm.
then we lace it with a good job. Shame on
Hmm.
us. Shame on us. Shame on us. And I just want people to know that you can do both. You can do all. And I'm gonna give you a story. It's gonna seem a little tangential, but it's gonna make sense.
Tell it. Tell
So
it.
I was working in leasing and housing, and for anybody that's ever worked in for an apartment company, leasing management company, you gonna feel me because the
Mm,
level of stress that
mm,
it comes from having strong customer service, working in leasing is rough because that's people's homes.
right.
Listen, I did 2 years of my time. I had to get out.
Peace.
Yeah, because I don't care what you got going on in your house. I don't want to know. So I don't want to know. What you do is what you do. So anyway, I had a colleague, and we had just dressed up for Halloween, and I was in this crazy Halloween costume. And there used to be a Starbucks in the parking lot next to the apartment complex that I helped to manage. And it was raining, it was gloomy, and I was telling her, I was like, I don't know if I want the iced coffee or if I want the latte. I mean, I was really stuck. And we
Hmm.
get to Starbucks, and she goes, Melissa, get both. Josiah, I'm
Mm,
telling you, it's been a TED talk in my life ever since. She said, get the iced coffee, but get it
leave
with
it
no
alone.
ice. Get the ice on the side, put that in the freezer at work, put the iced coffee with no ice in the refrigerator. Drink the hot coffee now. Now you can decide if you want that coffee when you go home or you
Mm,
can save it for tomorrow. But either way, you're over here limiting yourself when you could just get both.
wow.
Josiah, so I got two different types because now I don't got to choose because now I got my oat
Hmm.
milk vanilla latte over here, but now I got
Hmm.
my oat milk mocha here because I couldn't decide which one I wanted either.
Wow.
And
And you
it's
never
one of
had
the
to. You never had to decide which one. You actually got a both. You could have had a both.
this whole and my whole life I could have had both. So
Right.
that has, even though it was just coffee, it was more than coffee because in life sometimes we think like I have to just be a doctor, I have to just
Right.
be a dentist, but you could be a dentist, an actor, a mechanic, a nail tech, a hairstylist, or you could be someone that is you travel for work. Like you could do all of it, and there's only one way to find out is to try it and explore. But we sometimes just rely on other people's approvals of our ideas to actually do something, which is really, really dangerous and can be toxic because not everybody that's around you is proud of you, and not everybody around you celebrates your bravery to be a genius. So, yeah,
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I feel like in entertainment, it's actually common for people to do a variety of different things. But
yeah,
in the day-to-day jobs, even though it's common as well that you do a variety of different things, we only acknowledge the one thing that we're supposed to do, right? The one thing that we quote unquote get paid to do. But it's like you said, you can do it all. You have all the skill sets. There's no reason why you can't work a 9 to 5 and then from 5 to 9 work towards your dream or work in your dream or utilize your 9 to 5 to still do things that are within your dream. Like like you said,
absolutely.
you were taking on opportunities to MC an event or to do some writing or to do some creative, to do to choreograph a dance. Like this is you at work, but utilizing your dreams, right? To or utilizing your skill sets to manifest the dream and to put in work to make that dream become a reality. So you don't have to choose. I think that's a great analogy, and I hope you don't mind me stealing it because I'm gonna use it for sure.
Please, it was my own TED talk for me. So please, I could not believe it. I was like, both. Girl, you
Yeah.
are on to something here. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great. The only limitations we have are the ones we place upon ourselves. Straight up.
fact, fact.
Straight up. Um, so listen, I have a couple more questions that I do want to ask, and these are questions that we ask every single guest that comes on this show. Obviously, with you doing so many different things, right? What is one piece of information that you can give to others to help them comprehend the lifestyle or the challenges of an entertainer? Now, you've already dropped a bunch of gems for sure. But if there's any type of advice or information that you think would be helpful as well, what type of advice would that be?
Go to therapy. Go to
Mm,
therapy, go to therapy, go to therapy. I don't care your background. I don't care. Go to therapy. And I'm talking about the therapy that is non-religious, non-cultural based, like someone that can just see you for the present day human that you are, and be this unbiased voice and unbiased safe space for you to land emotionally, to help you see yourself. You cannot be the best at anything, especially an entertainer, if you have not dealt with yourself emotionally. Our emotions run our entire lives. They're our decision making platform. They're actually how we choose to make friends, find intimate relationships, choose a job, choose to execute a dream. Is based in our emotions. And if we have not addressed ourselves emotionally as humans, everything else will crumble. So go to therapy, and not your friend that always takes your call,
Right.
not your family member that likes to give you advice. I'm talking about a therapist that can really ground you outside of these systems, which is why I said non-religious or non-cultural if you can, but that can really ground you and help you make sense of who you are, of who you are.
I love that. Yeah, I've been doing therapy once a week for over 3 years now, and it has been life changing because the things that you're not even aware of that you do, and how it affects your daily life, um, it's critical. Like just being self-aware, and like you said, having that non-judgmental person, right? That not that person that's going to use it in an argument against you, or not that person that's going to tell your other homies like, did you know such and such was doing this, or did you know such and such went through that? Just someone that you can genuinely be open and honest to. Like my therapist say, if you lie to me, that's on you. Because that I can't help you if you lie to me, right? But if you tell me the truth of what's going on, then I can try to help you make you process it, right? And I personally think that it's unfortunate that how expensive therapy is in
Yes,
America, and
yes,
how inaccessible it is as well too. I mean, I think that
yes.
every American citizen should have access, affordable access to therapy because of all the things that we're dealing with.
It is out of control, and I think this is also some of the reasons why people pursue 9 to 5 employment even when they don't want to, because of just health benefits and how expensive it
Mm.
is just to secure benefits. And I'm so excited and I'm so grateful for the way that even the mental health industry has liberated itself from saying, like, I have to see you in person all the time, to telehealth. You could be on your phone, you could be in the car. There's even these chat platforms where you can now just text a therapist. I mean, there's so many ways for people to access it. There's even the therapists that do pro bono work that says, "Hey, I know you don't got it. I just know you don't got it, but guess
Hmm.
what? The government got it.
Right.
So sign up." And I just want to empower anybody who's like, I've never tried it, or I think it's too expensive. Like, just do a soft Google search about therapists in your region, or telehealth therapists do pro bono work, or telehealth therapists that do free consultations, or look into, government systems that will maybe pay for the first 6, the first 3. It is going to open up a pathway of relieving yourself from all the ways in which this society has made us feel like we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not bright enough, we're not, creative enough, or your trauma doesn't matter. All of that matters, and you deserve a soft place to land. You deserve.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, society has done a good job making us believe that we're not, but we are. We are. Like, regardless
Mm-hmm.
of however you want to finish that sentence, that's up to you. But start with I am dot dot dot. And instead of I'm not, just I am whatever I want to be. So I love that for sure. Last question of the day. We have been doing Wise Word Wednesdays for FYB. We started Wise Word Wednesdays back in 2017. So October of 2017 was our very first time doing Wise Word Wednesday. So we are coming up on year 7 of us doing Wise Word Wednesdays. So it's really, really great. Every single week for 6 years, we have been providing people with a wise word consistently. So this is
Oh
super
my
exciting for us.
God.
Yeah. But we did it because we wanted to give people just a snippet of some helpful tools that you can utilize to help your life make that much better, right? Just a little bit. And there may be some things that we say that week that doesn't resonate with you. That's okay, because next week we got a whole different wise word that may
It's a whole
hit
other
home.
word.
You know, a whole other word that's not even on the same topic. And so we, as a crew, we say like, you can be as ratchet as you want to, as crazy as you want to on your social media from Thursday through Tuesday. But just one day a week, we gonna guarantee that you wise up and just help somebody out with some information, because you have no idea how that one message could be the motivator, the kick, the push that somebody needs to start that dream, to start that vision, to start that job, or start that opportunity that can create the lifestyle that they wish. So in saying that, if there was one wise word, it doesn't have to be a word, but if there was one wise word in regards to like a message that you would like to leave the audience with about anything in life that you think is important, what would that word be?
That is so good. That is so good. The word that I would bestow upon people is heal. And the
Mm,
reason I say that is because a lot of the ways that we show up in this world are from unhealed places. And that's why sometimes when we go to work, we're not the best. When we engage with family, we're not the best. Or when life begins to life, we make decisions or we act outside of our character. But it's because we haven't focused attention on trying to heal those pieces of us that need it so that we can be a strong decision making person. So I just want to bestow the word heal on folks and ask folks whenever they are making a critical decision in their life, are they making it up a place of lack or are they making it from a place of abundance? And the
mm.
only way to decipher that is to really focus on healing the various pieces of our life.
I love that. I love that, because when you are in a place of hurt and then you heal, you go back and look at some of those decisions that you made and hurt, you be like, ooh, I have to do that one. I have
Ooh,
to
I
do it
didn't
like
mean
that.
it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. It's cool. Um, so I definitely agree 100% that healing is critical to the way in which the life that you want can come about. It starts with that healing, and like you said, making that decision from a place of abundance. Um, you gonna live abundantly, right? But if you make it from
Yes.
that place of hurt, that place of pain, it may hinder you from some certain things that or it may cause you to have a little bit of extra toughness in that road towards success. Whereas you want to make things as easy as possible. So I definitely love that. I love that for sure.
Yes. Thank you. I thought really hard, y'all. I thought really, really hard.
Well done. Well done. Listen, Queen Melissa Muganzo from Muganzo Entertainment, I want to say thank you again for taking time out of your day to sit with me, to talk about your career, your path. And I know I said this earlier, but just I'm always excited whenever I see any of your work. I think that it's beautiful because not only just the fact that I know you, but I can see and I've seen firsthand the amount of work that it takes to do some of the things that you're doing. I mean, I've seen rehearsal, right, for a 5 or 10 minute set, right? I've seen how many weeks and months that you had to be in the lab, right, to prepare that 10-minute thing. But to see
Yes.
that executed, and what to see the way that it literally like lights up the audience, I think it's just beautiful. And so I'm just blessed to be able to say that I can see that firsthand, and that I get to witness like your light being shined continuously. And I'm proud to say that you got a long way to go, because you
Thank
finna
you.
go up and up and up, and just stick
Thank
with it
you.
through those challenges, through those tough times, because I always tell people you're going to struggle no matter what. Either you struggle early so you can live a lot more in the end, or you can live it up in the beginning and you're going to have a tough road in the end. So you're going to struggle. So no matter what, continue to go through those struggles and learn and develop and grow, because there are people that are literally growing in life because of your growth. There are people that are
Mm.
literally changing their lives because of the things that you're
Mm.
doing in your life, based on your calling and your purpose. So I appreciate it.
Oh, you don't know how much this is speaking to my whole soul right now.
Ah,
You just don't even know. You
it's
just
love.
don't even know.
Love. It's love. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Muganzo from Muganzo Entertainment, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. It's FYB Presents Wise Word Wednesdays. I'm going to leave you with a refresh, and I love you.
All right, y'all. Peace.